Hi Tom, how are you?
Very well, thank you, Susan. Nice to see you. Happy Thursday. I'm sorry about what happened on Tuesday. I had a few technical
Yeah,
hitches at my end.
not to worry. We managed to put the recording together and finished off the conversation.
Great.
But yeah, no, it happens, doesn't it? That's and we, yeah, I managed to rerun that phrase, technical hitch.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're still thinking about fashion and the environment, really. So let's. I just want to check that I've got the sound on because this is a really nice little video to play from Greenpeace. So
hmm
um,
Completely
uh,
agree. Addicted to fashion, of addicted to buying things that are unnecessary.
absolutely. Well, I'm pretty sure this is going to play all right. And if we lose the sound, we'll cross that bridge later, which is another. I'll share computer sound. I found it. Right. We are good to go now. Yeah. Addicted to shopping fashion. Yeah. Many people are, aren't they?
Absolutely. Buying stuff they don't necessarily need or want.
That's right. Okay. Well, we can all sit back and watch this short video. It's only just a minute, but it tells us quite a bit.
Great. Cheers for that. Really enjoyed that.
Yeah, it was a very clear message, wasn't it? And by stuff, stuff is, I was thinking when I was looking at that, stuff is a word that we use a lot in English in conversation. You wouldn't write it, would you? But in conversation, buy stuff. Yeah, why do we buy stuff we don't necessarily
Definitely.
want?
Stuff is a word for things, isn't it? And the
Yeah.
word thing or things is such a common word. So stuff, what's the stuff on the table? What's the
Mm,
stuff in your hair? What's that
yeah.
stuff on your plate? We buy stuff, things. And often
Yeah.
it's as you say, it's very informal, isn't it?
Yeah, very
But very,
informal.
very common.
Where did I put my stuff?
Where's my
You
stuff? Do you
know,
have my stuff?
what's that stuff behind you in your room, Tom? Oh,
Books.
books. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a really, really common word that's used in conversation and, as you say, informal, isn't it? But it works. It works really, really well.
definitely. And very quickly as well, it's uncountable. So never say stuffs. There are
That's
books
true.
behind me and there's a lot of stuff, but there's never stuffs.
That's really, really a very good point, isn't it? Yeah. So just as you see it, use it like that. In fact, I need to turn on our transcript so we can see it as we say it's stuff. Yeah. So we'll add the vocab in wherever you're watching this replay, and it's also in the transcript below, which is correctly transcribed as stuff. Yeah.
Good.
So yeah, why are people addicted to shopping?
They gave a few reasons there, didn't they? I
Mm,
think it sounds quite harsh, but I think often it's boredom.
yeah,
People want that kick, that adrenaline buzz of buying something that looks nice in a shop. They might get it home and it doesn't necessarily suit them, or they might not like it. I think people buy a lot of stuff when they're on holiday, don't they? When they're
yeah,
sort of in a relaxed mood and they've got some disposable income.
very, very true. Yeah. So, and just did you catch there how Tom used stuff? People buy a lot of stuff when they're on holiday. I mean,
Absolutely. I mean, I did put that one in on purpose, but it does sound completely natural as well, doesn't it?
yeah, absolutely,
We
absolutely.
don't need so much stuff. I don't think we need so much stuff.
No, not at all. And there is a move away from that. And interesting, the fashion, we obviously we're focusing on clothes as our main topic, but the fashion industry is changing a bit. And I've noticed in the UK, some of the advertisements now for clothes. So you've got the brand, and I wish I could remember which brand it was, but you see the lifelike model, meaning a normal person walking down the steps, and it's got like orange peel next to us. I was thinking, what are they talking about? And then I realized they were the brand were indicating that the clothes were made from recycled products, including orange peel. So the focus was on the environment, on recycling, and that was the branding. So it's quite an important message, I think. In business, we need to keep up with, I don't want to say the word trends because it's a bit deeper than that, but keep in touch with customers, with clients, what the public want. And it will be different in different cultures, different countries, but so many people are worldwide with the internet looking at the environment. So it's very, very important.
And the clothing industry has changed as well since the internet, hasn't it? Whereby you could take a particular product or design of something, and then it can be replicated and copied extremely quickly. It can be transported and shipped extremely quickly. So it's sort of in an age where everything needs to be done fast and everyone's impatient, and you can get everything delivered immediately to your door. So I mean, it's a thing. Well, like your statistic on Tuesday, really, if anyone's not shocked by 80 billion garments made per year worldwide, it's just an absolute disgrace.
Yeah, that's because I like the way you tried to work it out, and I thought it was very reasonable. 7 billion people, so many garments a year, but 80 billion is incredible, isn't it? And for balance, no one's saying we should feel guilty about buying something new. That's not an issue, but it's the sheer volume
and also just the trend of passing things down. As you said earlier on, I think there's such a stigma in many countries and many sort of groups of people whereby if you haven't got something that's brand new, there's something wrong with you in a way, or you're sort of lacking something. The thing is, one of the things I really like about the UK is the secondhand clothes culture. And there's many websites to do with it, many apps where people can buy and sell stuff that is, secondhand, and it should be.
That's right. And there's a new phrase as well, isn't there? Pre-loved, which is sort of taking away the idea that secondhand is bad, which we definitely would say not. In fact, it's almost I would say a point of pride that something is not new, that it is secondhand, that recycling, that we are recycling.
Vintage is another euphemism, isn't it? Vintage clothing.
I was working actually in the Middle East, and to be fair, my students were absolutely excellent at passing on things. They always passed on their clothes, but they very rarely, if ever, got secondhand clothes themselves. And they were telling me, no, it would always look old and that. So I gave them a challenge. I said, I have a jacket that I have earned. This spoke to my age as well. For nearly 40 years, I said, I'm going to wear it one day, and you've got to spot it. And they didn't spot it at all. And I had bought it when I was 20. And it's, the point being, of course, that if you buy sort of classic clothes and you take care of them, as you were saying on Tuesday, you can keep them going. And I haven't had to take a needle and thread to it. And it was incredibly expensive at the time. But over those years, it's
good
probably
investment.
the least expensive item in my wardrobe.
Absolutely. And as well, when people buy it, it's a throwaway culture, isn't it? So you get it in and you throw it away, get it in, throw it away. Have something that's got some longevity, that's going to last for a while, and you're going to, you might want to sort of stick it away for a couple of years and then come back to it.
Absolutely.
Instead of, I've done that, and I'm sure you have, and everyone does. I'm, same as everyone else with it, really. So you get something, you love it, wear it for a year, get a bit fed up with it, but instead of throwing it away, just keep it, stick it to the side, come back to it next year.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a way of thinking, isn't it? And from a point of view of business, again, with my business hat on, think about how customers can, if you're in marketing, think about how you can appeal to the recycling, the reuse, high quality your product is, whether it's clothing or something else, and it will last for, you know, a long time. I mean, this fisherman's boat behind me, that boat's been there for years, and it repainted, it's loved and cared for, and that's something that's common all over the world, isn't it? Boats are taken care of, and no one goes out and buys a new boat like that. They nurture and love it. So
yeah, well, it should be.
Yeah, absolutely.
Has more stories as well. I think it's the same thing even with watches. Like in certain environments or countries that are second-hand watch, or a watch that's 100 years old, which means it's then classified as an antique if it's 100 years old. Is a, you know, it's extremely expensive and it looks great. And then other places think, oh, it's a second-hand watch, or it's passed down from my grandfather, and it's like, that's a negative thing. And it should be just, you know, a watch, a timepiece should stand the test of time. That's a nice structure.
That's a really, really good phrase, isn't it? Yeah. And you know, when people start to travel again, you know, think about when you're packing your suitcase, you can't take an awful lot with you. You can't take a whole wardrobe. So that's probably the way that we should be looking at things. What are our essentials, a few extra bits and pieces. So there's lots of things we can do to
travel light.
Travel light, yes, exactly. And declutter, that's a very good phrase, isn't it?
Yeah, declutter, definitely. I can't stand clutter. Clutter's a noun that means just too much stuff.
Yeah.
Stuff that you don't need, stuff that's in the way. You know, get rid of it. It's a good feeling, but get rid of it to a good place.
That's right. Yes, I took a sack full, and again, that's an expression, doesn't necessarily mean a sack, but a sack full of children's books. To the local charity shop. Well, some went to the school across the road, some went to the charity shop, and they're going to get reused. So, you know, maybe start an initiative in your neighborhood, pass on things. But we digress. That's also a good word, isn't it? I digress.
Get off the point, move away from the main idea.
Exactly. But hey, we've talked about clothing, recycling, the environment effect this week. Perhaps it wasn't what you thought when you saw that we were going to be discussing clothes and clothing, but very, very topical, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, as you say, it's an extremely polluting industry. And as wonderful as it is, I think it needs to be, people need to be more educated about clothes, you know, and how much damage it can do. Not just to the environment, but just generally to the economics of certain countries.
Yeah, absolutely. And on Tuesday, after you got knocked off the internet, I was saying that obviously we're not suggesting that people would close down a business. You know, if you're in the clothing industry, just think about it a different way, introduce different practices. So we're not talking about shutting business down, we're talking about doing things better. And in a different way, and moving with the times, which can happen and should happen in all industries. Change is good in business. Right, so I think that brings us to the end of Thursday, and tomorrow I've got Q&A, so join me in the group if you have questions and answers, and a few Facebook Lives will be there.
Definitely.
So, see you next week, Tom.
See you, everybody. See you, Suzanne.
Take care. Bye-bye.